Hello. Today we'll be talking about business and other things with Marvin Steele today on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes, and my longtime friend Marvin Steele is my guest today. Marvin, welcome.
I'm delighted to be here with you, Bernie.
Oh, so nice.
It is my honor. You
Oh,
are.
the honor's mine.
I
Thank
know
you.
I tell you this, and you kind of smile, but you are a legend in this town.
Oh, my goodness. Thank
And
you.
you've helped a lot of people do a lot of things.
You're very kind.
So we appreciate you.
Very kind. And we
Truly
appreciate
do.
you too, Marvin, because
Truly
you,
do.
I can say it right back to you as a ditto
Yes,
from Marvin
we
Steele.
really do.
Thank you. Heartland Chamber of Commerce. You're the president and CEO.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what is the Heartland Chamber of Commerce?
We are an organization that's laser focused on promoting Black business. It's our true belief that promoting Black business and the growth of Black business is what will lead us to be really independent and self-sustaining.
Okay.
You know, it's often in communities like St. Louis that there are many not-for-profits that do good work, providing people sometimes with clothes and food and shelter and all those things, and with education. But at the end of the day, we want to create a community that we can do that for ourselves, that we're self-sustaining, that we grow, we develop. And in the past, there have been times in the Black communities across this nation that we were more independent than we are today. You know, we talk about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but there were a lot of Black Wall Streets all across this country, and a lot of thriving communities across this country. And for one reason or another, they don't exist anymore. They were destroyed. And we think that the way forward is through development of Black business and Black business communities, so we can be self-sustaining, that we can earn our own money and do the things to educate our kids and make a better life for ourselves without depending upon others to give us something.
When I came to St. Louis, Wilson was really popping and booming. The Gaslight Square wasn't Black owned, but there was Black businesses down there.
Absolutely.
So I grew up in Chicago, 63rd Street and 47th Street. You know, in Bronzeville, where I grew up,
In Bronzeville.
on the south side, they were booming, just like you just mentioned. And then I went to San Francisco. The Fillmore district was full. All that has disappeared now, just like you said. Why? Why, Marvin?
Because what some people, I say it's in certain people's DNA, is land. And land policy has dramatically negatively had an impact upon us. When those communities were destroyed or decimated, and certainly I think we talked a little bit about Mill Creek in the past. Mill Creek was a thriving, powerful community. You know, we stated the other day, there was a building on the corner of Market and Jefferson called the People's Finance Building, built in 1921 by Black hands and financed by Black people in 1921. 5-story brick building, housed 82 Black businesses, housed the NAACP, the Urban League, the Union of Pullman Porters. They say that they had a rooftop event space that was so fabulous. The AKA sororities had their boule, which is their national conference there. And they said it was so fabulous, people talked about it for 25 years. And it was emblematic of that whole community that was in that area. But that was valuable land. And the city fathers at some point decided that they wanted it. So we got a law passed through our congressional delegation, the federal level, the Urban Renewal Act, 1950, I think it was, which made it usable in St. Louis and in Chicago, in the neighborhood you spoke of, and all other places. And we lost that land. My grandmother had I think, 15 what we call then rooming houses in Mill Creek, housing men who were returning, black men who were returning from the Korean War. You know, Truman integrated the Army near the end of World War II.
48.
Yes. But where black men really showed up was in the Korean War.
Right. I was a part of
Yes,
it.
yes.
Yeah, I was in Korea, yeah.
And many of those men returning to St. Louis didn't have a place to stay. And my grandmother she was entrepreneurial in nature, saw an opportunity, and she housed them in those homes that she turned into rooming houses. She had a cook at everyone that did 3 meals a day. And that kind of was the nature of Mill Creek. It was a supportive community where, you know, doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, factory workers, everybody lived there. And we supported each other and we grew together. When urban renewal came into place and they took that land by eminent domain from all those black owners, it didn't only hurt us because of the loss of the property. It was the first time almost, I think, in this country that a race of people became divided.
Yeah.
Because when they took that land, those of us that could afford by nature, by our attitude, or we had the resources, moved into homes west in St. Louis and or north. Those who couldn't got left behind and was eventually placed in public housing. And that separated us.
You know, they call urban renewal Negro removal.
Yes.
That's the mantra that they use now. So actually, you're saying more or less land is probably the key to wealth?
I think absolutely, and to our culture. You know, when Europeans came to America, they said they came for religious freedom, but they really came for the land.
Yeah.
And I tell people, if you don't believe me, just ask the Native Americans. They can tell you exactly what happened to them, and what happened to them is continuing to happen on a different scale, but it's the same attitude. We want this land and we're going to take it. We have to be careful in St. Louis right now because we, black people, have kind of emptied up North St. Louis. And I would not be surprised if we don't do something about it, which is what our chamber is trying to do every day. We'll lose out on all that beautiful land and the beautiful communities that we had in North St. Louis. And we have to reconcentrate on what's best for us. And as you just stated, Bernie, wealth is certainly tied to land, and vice versa.
How can one reach you, and how can they join the chamber? And why should they join the chamber?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about what we do. You know, most chambers, the attitude of a chamber is to be a booster organization. And when I first came on with the chamber, I was the board chairman. I wasn't the CEO. But after a couple of years on the board, I felt like we need more than boosting in the black business community. We need something more than that. So made a decision to actually open a facility where we now house about 25 black businesses in that facility.
Wow.
And help them with credit repair, help them with banking, help them with grantsmanship, everything that we can to help them grow and expand. And we have businesses that started there. We started this about 3 years ago now, 3.5 years ago. And we have businesses there that one young lady had a construction company, and she was probably doing about $300,000 or $400,000 a year when we started with her. She started with us. She's now doing about $10 million a year. And hiring people and training people in the construction industry. And that's our intention, and we're very intentional about doing that because, again, we think it is the real key to our future. You know, my example often, and who I admire, was Maynard Jackson, the mayor of Atlanta. And, you know, in history, Sherman, during the Civil War, burned Atlanta to the ground. Yeah, it did. And it wasn't until really Maynard came along in '72 and became mayor that he reversed that.
Maynard Jackson resurrected it.
Maynard Jackson did that.
We're going to take a short break, Marvin
Sure.
Steele. But we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center. We're located at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. But we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center, and Reverend Larry Rice has been providing services for those folks for more than 53 years. and we need your help and support. We'll be right back with Marvin Steele after this.
Hey, viewers of the Bernie Hayes Show, have you ever seen so many people as you travel around the streets of St. Louis City, St. Louis County, over in Illinois, Jefferson County, St. Charles County, that are homeless? So many out on street corners, so many people are having to sleep outside in vacant buildings. The New Life Evangelistic Center's got teams going out every day, working among those individuals, taking them hundreds of bottles of water every week, hundreds and hundreds of sandwiches, and now we're having to get blankets and sleeping bags and tents, long underwear, even making little canned heaters, just so many, many needs. And that's why your involvement in New Life Evangelistic Center is so very important. You could be a volunteer and go out on the streets with us. Call us at 314-421-3020. To go to our website at nlecstl.org to learn about them there. Feel free to call us at 314-421-3020. Please remember the work of New Life Evangelistic Center in your prayers. And please share that much-needed gift. New Life receives no city, state, or federal dollars. And your giving is so very, very important. And it goes so far in New Life Evangelistic Center. We have a dedicated team of volunteers and trainees that take every dollar that you send in and provide $3 worth of direct services helping the poor and the homeless, the fatherless, the widowed. Please get your business involved, your church involved, and send those gifts to New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166, or you can give online at nlecstl.org. We need your partnership at this particular time. Our teams are going out daily among the poorest of the poor, and we need your help now as we move in these winter months. Your gifts, your prayers are absolutely essential at this moment.
Thanks to New Life Evangelistic Center, thousands of mothers with children around the world can stay together. They can pursue their educations, and they grow in grace and in the knowledge of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Thank you to all of our Club 24 members who make this miracle happen.
Welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guest is Marvin Steele of the Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce. You know, you just described how many people you house. Is this considered an incubator at your place?
Well, again, it would be, for some, we would be called an incubator. We shy away from that term because people think of incubators for startups.
Right, but
the black business community in St. Louis, 8 to 80, we need help in our businesses. So some of our businesses have been around for a while.
Okay.
They're not just, so I'll call it an accelerator.
Sure.
Because we're, like I said, focused on growing them at whatever stage they are. Startup business and or mature business that needs the kind of help that we try to provide. And we try to impart to our black businesses as much as we can about St. Louis. Because you can be in business and be doing pretty well, but if you don't know where the resources are in St. Louis, or you don't know how St. Louis functions, you don't really know what the mayor's office does, you don't know what the Board of Aldermen does, you don't know what the Development Authority does, which is where most of the resources are for growing businesses, you lose out. Okay. So we try to make sure that we expose our businesses to all that and really create a black business ecosystem that we can grow and expand and develop. And the Urban League has been extremely helpful to us. Some of the Urban League's operation is in the same building with us, and the Urban League is getting more and more interested in the development of black businesses as well.
How can one join, and what would be the benefits?
Well, first of all, it's our facility. You join. Our fees are $150 a year, and that
very cheap.
Very cheap.
Very affordable.
Very affordable. And like I said, we house 25 businesses in our facility. We also have about 80 members that are virtual members. Their address is there. They receive their mail there. They get their license through the city. So we have that group, and then our whole membership is about 400 members.
Wow.
So if you are a member, you want to have access to our facilities, where we actually have a podcast room. We have a recording studio there. We are just opening up a call center that we can handle your calls, your emails here in St. Louis, across the country, across the world for that matter. And then once a month, we have a network meeting, and we'll have someone come in. Often it's a banker, or a credit repair person, or the mayor was there a couple of months ago, the new police chief. We've had them, and our network meetings normally last in the evening, a couple of hours once a month. And we also, when we have a guest in, we have food, we have a little wine, guest does a presentation, Q&A, and then we socialize.
Wonderful.
And so people can connect with each other and learn about each other and be supportive of each other.
How can one contact you?
You can reach me at, my phone number is 314-437-5876, and I'm always available.
What about an email address or a Facebook page or
Steele
website?
SteeleMarvin74@gmail.com.
That's your email address,
is
right?
my email.
That's SteeleMarvin74@gmail.com. And what about a website?
Is www.hbcstl.com.
Wonderful. So what are your hours of operation?
We are currently open from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 in the evening.
Wow, that's
But we are actually installing a system, a card system, that if you are a member or if you have an office in our building, you'll be able to access it 24 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
Give us another success story. You talked about the lady in construction. Give us another success story from the Heartland Chamber of Commerce.
I'll tell you something about also how
Okay.
different our people are.
Okay.
I had a young man come to me looking for office space about 3 years ago when we first got started. And he was really suffering because he had 25 pieces of property, and he had bought it through a hard lender, and he was paying an exorbitant interest rate, and it was really hurting him. So I managed to get him refinanced, get his interest rate down to 4 or 5%, gave him some additional cash, about $60,000, $70,000, so he could put more money into his property. And he's doing really well, really growing. He started an insurance company and all that. But I have to tell you how different our people are. He was really thriving and very happy. And one day I came into the office and he saw me in the lobby. He said, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I said, "Sure." So I go back to his office. His assistant was there. And he said, "I want to show you something." And he handed me a brochure. I looked at it, and it looked like it was a glove or something. It didn't look that impressive. I had to make a phone call. I said, "I'll be back." Go make a phone call. I look at it when I get to my office. It's just like some kind of glove or something. What is this? I go back. And so I said to him, "What is this? It just looks like a glove." He said, "That's what it is." I said, "Okay." And then his assistant, who was sitting across from me, she said, "Reggie, show him your hand." And he raised his hand up like this, and his hand was snarled like that. He said, "I've been like this since birth." He said, "But I invented that glove." He said, "Because people like me are configured differently. This disfiguration can be different."
Sure.
He said, "But when that glove I invented, when you put that glove on, it makes your hand normal,
Wow.
no matter how disfigured it is."
But more.
This is a real estate guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
So when you see those kind of stories and what's in their minds and their creativity, you can't help but love them, and you can't help but promote them every way that you can.
Let's talk about Marvin Steele. Who is Marvin Steele?
Well, bald-headed. I'll tell you this. I will start with this. I'm a person that loves the city.
Okay.
In every way. And I've had a lot of different experiences here after college, corporate world for 8 or 9 years.
Tell us about that college and corporate world.
I attended Antioch College in Yellow Springs, Ohio. Special kind of school. It was a 5-year undergraduate program, but you spent 50% of your time in your studies and then 50% of your time somewhere in the country or the world working in your major. And it allowed me to have a lot of different kinds of political experiences and to travel abroad, even as a student, and lived in Morocco for 6 months. Upon graduating, went to work for Alcoa, the aluminum company of America, for 5 or 6 years, and then came back home to St. Louis. And when I came home, I became Deputy Director of the Development Authority for the city. And then Shamble was the mayor, worked through his first term. His second term, I decided to start a business. Bought the Allen Cab Company and started a construction company. And my construction firm, later I put the 70,000 seats in the Dome Stadium, built the arena downtown, built the Kappa House in St. Louis, built the First Baptist Church in Chesterfield, and many other things that we see in St. Louis I had a hand in and was able to build.
Wow.
And now I do some development privately, but my real passion is this chamber. And I do my chamber work primarily as a volunteer.
Once again, tell us how to reach you.
314-437-5876, that's my number.
Mm-hmm. And the websites and
email is steelemarvin74@gmail.com. And the website is www.hbccstl.com.
So, and the membership to join the chamber is $150 per year.
Yes, and you can access that on our website.
Okay.
Just go on our website. There's a button there for you to join. Come visit us, take a tour if you want to do that even before you join. Just give me a call. I'll arrange for you to come and take a tour, see what we have to offer, and we go from there.
Good. My guest is Marvin Steele, President and CEO of the Heartland Chamber of Commerce, and here in St. Louis, Missouri. And we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center. Reverend Larry Rice has been for more than 53 years helping those in need, and we still need your help to keep those sports systems going. We'll be right back with Marvin Steele after this.
Behind me is the New Life Evangelistic Center administrative offices in Overland, Missouri. And this is where we shoot our shows for our worship shows and the Here's Help Network. And it's also where Zakid Baruti and Bernie Hayes shoot their shows. You can find all of these shows at the New Life Evangelistic Center app, the NLEC TV app. You can also access them on your tablet or on your computer. And this is how you can stay up to date with all the things that New Life Evangelistic Center is doing. There are so many different programs that we've got going on, and God is doing many exciting things through partners like you. So if you want to support the work that New Life is doing, then please access and give through the app. You can go online at nlecstl.org or give us a call at 314-421-3020. Again, 314-421-3020. But this is the best way to get plugged into the amazing work that New Life is doing through people like you. And so there is something for you to get involved in today. And we are so thankful for our partners. Only through the grace of God and your gift are we able to bless others today.
One of the most significant events in Tulsa's history was a race riot that occurred in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921, following World War I. Tulsa boasted of one of the most affluent African-American communities in the country, known as the Greenwood District, but surrounded by residentials known as the Black Wall Street. On the morning of May 30th, 1921, a young black man named Dick Rowland was riding in the elevator with a woman named Sarah Page. The Tulsa police arrested Rowland the following day. Over 6,000 people who were held in the convention hall in the fairgrounds, some as long as 8 days. In the early morning hours of June 21st, Black Tulsa was looted and burned by white rioters. 24 hours after the violence erupted, 35 city blocks lay in charred ruins, and in 2001, the Tulsa Race Riot Commission indicated that historians now believe that close to 3,000 black people died in the riot. Tulsa, Oklahoma.
As Isaiah 59:14 says, justice is turned away backward, and righteousness, uprightness, and right standing with God stands far off. For truth is fallen in the street, and unrighteousness cannot enter the courts of justice.
Welcome back. My guest is Marvin Steele. Marvin, you said you had a very interesting story to tell us about the Missouri Athletic Club. What's it up?
My dad was a chemical engineer, basically. Mm-hmm. And when he came to St. Louis from Detroit, he wasn't able to get a job in St. Louis. St. Louis was different than Detroit and did not welcome black people in that kind of profession.
Sure.
But he had 6 children. So he took a job as a porter at the Missouri Athletic Club. and started a storefront church on Leonard and Delmar and was raising his children. While he was at the Missouri Athletic Club, was a man there, member, by the name of Leroy Schneeberger, who really took a liking to my father. And Mr. Schneeberger and his boys had recently started the Vest Bottling Company. So after about a year as a porter at the Missouri Athletic Club, Mr. Schneeberger asked my dad to come out to Vest Bottling Company and be his personal porter. So my dad accepted that job, went out there, became Mr. Schneeberger's personal porter. And about a year later, Mr. Schneeberger had a massive stroke. And no one at Vest Bottling Company knew how to mix soda but my father. And he went from being a porter to being the chief mixologist for Vest Bottling Company for the next 25 years. And every Vest soda you ever drank in that period of time, my dad made.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You told me that story before, and it's just as thrilling now as I heard it last time I heard it.
Yes.
Marv, what's the future for St. Louis, in your opinion?
You know, as tough as things are, I do think that St. Louis is at a inflection point. And it's not just me, but I believe that our Black business community has a major role to play in what could be St. Louis's renaissance. We just have to pay a lot of attention to each other. And it's okay to be interdependent upon each other. And we've got to get that spirit that we had back. When we talk about Mill Creek and talk about Wellston and all those neighborhoods, we've got to get that back. And I think that what's happening nationally, while in many ways can be considered to be negative, but it's putting some pressure on us to make some decisions about us for us. And I think that, again, I think the Black business community is key. I think the church community is key. And we've got to learn to blend and work that together on our own and not be dependent upon others.
What, as the CEO and president of the Chamber, what are your duties specifically?
I run the Chamber, fundraising, giving it direction, all those things. But I also am blessed to want to and do spend a lot of time with our individual business people. I try to help solve problems. Sometimes, particularly in construction and places like that, where I have businesses that have difficulty sometimes dealing with the broader community, and I'm often intervening, making sure that our companies get paid, often introducing, and recently have had BJC down to our facility. I've had Wash U down at our facility, and I'm bringing other corporations to our facilities. Because what happens is, when I started out in the corporate world, I started out in sales, and I had a real sense of what it meant to go out and knock on the door of a major corporation selling a product. So that experience and that feeling never left me. So my thinking is, instead of a small business having to go and knock on Centene's door, I'm bringing Centene to our community.
Wow.
And our network meetings, that's kind of what we do. And it gives our business people a chance to talk to Centene or to talk to BJC about what they do, and then BJC can talk to them about what they need. And that marriage begins to happen, and that's what we love doing that.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here, Mr. Steele. Thank you so much, Marvin, for giving us the opportunity to talk to you and to see you and to network with you.
Well, I appreciate you, Bernie, and I thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
and
for
thanks
having
each
me
and
on.
every one of you for supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center. We're at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri, 63114. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day. Until next time.